Coco Gauff's ex-coach sends Taylor Fritz bold reminder as top threats get busy in Cincinnati. The Canadian Open leveled up this year, expanding the men's draw from 56 to 96 and stretching the event to 12 days. Yet despite the upgrades, big names like Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner opted out, and Novak Djokovic hasn't played since 2019. Obviously, we're disappointed with the withdrawals, said tournament director Carl Hale, noting upcoming talks with ADP CEO Andrea Gaudenzi to address the situation. With the top two seeds out, Taylor Fritz, now the second seed, has stormed into the semis, rising to the occasion. Amid this power vacuum, Coco Gauff's ex-coach, Brad Gilbert, sends crucial message to Taylor Fritz amid Alcaraz and Sinner's Canadian Open absence. It's time to lead. Taylor Fritz came agonizingly close to another serving shutout under the Toronto lights, but in the end, he grabbed what mattered most, a commanding win over 2024 finalist Andrei Rublev to book his place in the National Bank Open semifinals. After fending off all 10 breakpoints in previous rounds, Fritz delivered another serving clinic, hammering 9 aces in a breezy 31-minute opener and finishing with 20 for the match, tying his personal best. He landed 79% of first serves and 64% of second serves in a match where serves ruled and rallies took the back seat. As the dust settled and Fritz stood tall, a new voice entered the fray. Brad Gilbert has now shared the mantra that might reinforce more strength for Fritz to win the Canadian Masters. With momentum building and guidance arriving, the stars may just be aligning. Right after Taylor Fritz's quarterfinal triumph, his coach Brad Gilbert took to X with a cheeky but fired-up reaction. Good effort from Fritz Carlton taking out Rubles. Such a great opportunity without Sin City cityscape or escape from Alcaraz not there, one index pointing up of these tournaments stadium. You must capitalize on without them there, he posted, blending humor and hard truth in equal measure. It was a subtle war cry, acknowledging the absence of two juggernauts, Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. One fan quickly jumped into the conversation, reminding the thread of Novak Djokovic's absence and Fritz's daunting 0-10 head-to-head record against the Serbian. The fan quipped, Djokovic too, is H2H with Fritz grimacing face, to which Gilbert responded with a simple nod of approval. Good call telephone receivered. A short reply, but it said plenty. In the match itself, Fritz held match point at 5-4 in the second set after unleashing a serving masterclass. It looked like his 42nd straight hold was sealed until Rublev broke through on his fourth chance to level the score and push the set into a tense tiebreak. But Fritz, steeled by a red-hot run of 18 wins in his last 21 matches, locked in to seal the deal 6-3, 7-6-4, marking his 20th hardcourt win of the season. While Gilbert now stands firmly in Fritz's corner, Taylor's sharp words on the scheduling chaos of the North American swing are gaining traction. With stars skipping key stops and matches packed tighter than ever, his perspective is starting to echo across the tour, loud and clear from locker rooms to ADP boardrooms. Taylor Fritz's scheduling concerns echo as criticism mounts. This year, the North American hardcourt swing has already felt the tremors of change. With the ADP's new scheduling expansion plan in effect, the 2025 Canadian Open now stretches across 12 days instead of the usual 10. But this expansion comes at a cost. It has drastically tightened the turnaround time between Wimbledon and the start of the hardcourt season, leaving players with barely any room to breathe. Speaking on the hot-button 12-day Masters 1000 format, Taylor Fritz offered a mixed take. To be honest, I am complaining about the length of the 2-week tournaments, but at the same time, I don't dislike playing a match and having a day off and playing a match. It's a balancing act that even he calls weird, caught between physical fatigue and mental reset. Others have been more direct. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina didn't mince words, calling out the ADP for failing to deliver on promises to fix the calendar chaos. And Leylah Fernandez, just 48 hours removed from lifting the City Open trophy, was forced to jet to Montreal for her home tournament, a brutal turnaround that didn't sit well. Even legends are chiming in. During the Serve podcast, Andy Roddick and John Wertheim tackled the issue. Wertheim's sharp take said it best, these players are not robots. The message is resonating far beyond the locker rooms now. Still, amid the scheduling storm, Taylor Fritz has managed to stay composed. He just punched his ticket to the Canadian Open SF, proving once again that even under pressure, he plays with steel. But as Cincinnati looms fast, the broader question lingers. How long can the sports stars keep carrying the weight without change? The Cincinnati skyline buzzed with energy, and the courts shimmered under the Midwestern sun. It was the calm before chaos, the week when the biggest names in tennis gather not just to fine-tune their weapons before the U.S. Open, but to stake silent claims. And in the middle of it all, as fans turned their heads toward Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, and Aryna Sabalenka, Taylor Fritz began warming up on court 5. Quiet, focused, but not unnoticed. Because somewhere in that crowd, Diego Moyano, former coach of Coco Gauff, had been watching. And he had something to say. Not to the media, not to his former players, but to Fritz himself. He's got the game. He's got the guts. But what he doesn't have right now, Moyano said bluntly to a small group of journalists nearby, is urgency. And he better find it. Fast. It was a bold statement. And it didn't take long to ripple across the grounds. The American Mirror. Fritz has long been billed as the face of American men's tennis. Strong serve, easy power, explosive forehand. He's charismatic, marketable, and for a time, even a top 5 player. But in a season defined by European dominance, Sinner rising, Alcaraz defending, and Rune sneaking in late-round runs, Fritz has struggled to stamp his authority. Now in Cincinnati, surrounded by peers like Ben Shelton, Tommy Paul, and Francis Tiafoe, the spotlight has dimmed slightly. And that's exactly why Moyano spoke. "You think Gauff waited for Serena to leave the stage?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. She charged through it. "Fritz needs to stop waiting for Novak to retire and Carlos to slow down. That's not happening. He needs to start taking moments." Lessons from Coco. Moyano's history with Gauff gives his voice weight. He was there when she was battling inconsistency, still trying to reconcile her speed with her strategy, her nerves with her next-gen identity. He was part of her transformation from potential to champion. And what he saw in Gauff, he now searches for in Fritz, conviction under pressure. "When Coco was 18, she told me, 'I don't want to be hyped, I want to be real,'" Moyano recalled. "That's when I knew she was ready to lead." And in his view, Fritz is at that same crossroads now. Not a rookie, not a veteran, but floating somewhere in between, dangerous, talented, and still missing the switch that turns a player from contender to closer.